So now some questions, right? So is splitting the input on white spaces a good approach? Obviously, I'm hinting it's not. If you do that, right, then what do you do with enjoy and enjoyed? Are we going to treat them as separate tokens? Of course, doesn't look like a reasonable thing to do. What about languages like Japanese, which do not have any word delimiter, right? So there's no white space concept there. Then what will you do in that case? In that case, why not treat every individual character as a unique token in the vocabulary? And then what is like the definition of good tokens? It's at one extreme you have take white space separated entities as tokens. The other extreme is take characters as tokens. Both do not seem to be very reasonable. So what is the middle ground that you could have, right? And we sort of cover some of these, again, the theory part of this in the Foundations of Large Language Models course. I'll not delve too deeply into this. I just want to sort of introduce the topic of tokenization from a very high level, right? Yeah, so what should be the size of the vocabulary? How do you deal with out of vocabulary words, right? So if I said that if you have a very large corpus, probably if you have like order millions of sentences, right? And if you try to compute the white space separated tokens, unique tokens in the vocabulary, then you would have very, very high number of tokens, right? But if you limit the vocabulary to some reasonable number like 50K, 100K, 200K, then of course there will be out of vocabulary words, right? Then how are you going to handle them, right? What happens to misspelled words in the corpus? Again, all of this we discuss in the other LLM course. And you have the open vocabulary problem, right? There are new elements which are constantly being added to the language. If there's a new domain which comes up, then a new word gets added. It's like say cryptocurrency, right? I mean, of course, it's not new anymore, but I'm just saying if a new scientific thing emerges, then you might have a new terminology and so on, right? So how do you deal with these problems? So what we are going to sort of briefly talk about is tokenization algorithms. What are the different choices? And this is just to set context of when you're using a library, what are the different options that you might have, right? So if you want to create a tokenizer, what are the different algorithms that you could pass as an argument? And this is what our wish list is. We want a moderate size vocabulary. We want to efficiently handle unknown words, and we want to be language agnostic. And the same approach should work for Japanese, Hindi, English, all languages, right? And there are a set of approaches which have already been proposed. One is to go character level. This is like one extreme of the spectrum. The other is to do subword level, which is like the most popular choice today, where the vocabulary size you restrict to around 30K to 50K. And the other is to word level, which is very large and hence impractical. And within subword level, you have a few popular approaches. What I'll do next is sort of just cover these in brief, right? And then we'll move on to the part where we start talking about how do you do all of this in Hugging Face, right? So I'll take a pause here and I'll come back and talk about some of these approaches. Okay, so welcome back. So now that we have looked at the theory part of it, right? We have looked at different tokenization algorithms. Now let's see how to build like a tokenizer in the Hugging Face world, right? Just again, the pre-processing pipeline looks like this. You have an input text. You may want to do some normalization. So what I've done here is all the capitalizations, I have lowercased everything, right? Then you may want to do a pre-tokenization. You say that, okay, first split everything on words, right? That's a reasonable thing to do. And then further from there, sort of tokenize it into subwords. And then, yeah, that's what is happening here. Tokenize using the learned vocabulary. So now don't has been split into two parts. And then do some post-processing, right? You might want to add some specific tokens. You might want to say that add a start token, add an end token, add some masking. All of this you could do, right? So this is what the generic pipeline looks like. And the tokenizers module in Hugging Face allows you to do all of these steps, right? Normalization, pre-tokenization, tokenization, building the vocabulary, learning it from a corpus, then doing some spatial post-processing. It has many routines or methods in it, right? And we may look at a few of those. You can look at the sort of API docs for looking at the other features which are there. We'll not cover all of them, but I'll just give you a sense of what all is there, right? Yeah, so you could have a normalizer, pre-tokenizer, the algorithm, whether it's BP, word piece, sentence piece, and so on, and then whatever post-processing you want to do, right? And some sample examples are given here, right? So we can customize. So you could have choices like normalization. You could say that I want to have do lower casing of the entire text. I also want to strip accents, right? So if you might have seen this in English and also in Indian languages, right? So Um, so sometimes you may have an A and then some mark on top of it to indicate an accent, or a dot or a bar on top of it, right? The equivalent in Hindi, and you can probably, this is not directly available, you could add like a normalizer which says that you don't want to have the diacritic mark and so on, right? So things like that, you could have these choices of normalization, right? So some of these standard choices are available already implemented in the package. Then you could do pre-tokenizer. You could say that I want white space tokenization or some regex based tokenization, right? Let's split on comma or something like that, or some other pre-built tokenization, pre-tokenization methods which are there. Then you could mention the algorithm that you want to use for tokenization, and then mention whatever post-processing you want to do, right? You might want to insert some model-specific spatial tokens, as I had mentioned earlier. It's all of this you can do, and there are these setter method, getter methods which you can use, right? So all of these are available, and we'll see some of these in detail, right? The more frequently used. Right? And here's a sample. I'm creating a BPE tokenizer. I am saying that the pre-tokenizer is white space, and I want the normalizer to be lowercase, right? It means I'll lowercase everything. Right? So very simple, easy to mention sort of specifications, and it's very intuitive, like what you're trying to do here, right? So with the 3 lines of code that you have here. Okay, and there are many methods. We'll look at some of these methods when we are looking at the collab notebooks. The others, as I said, you can look at the docs to figure out what these methods do, and you may not need all of them, right? We'll just cover the ones which are frequently used, sort of, right? So just again as an illustration, before we move on to the collab. So you have the tokenizer. You may first want to train the tokenizer, right? So you may say that this is the corpus, this is a list of strings, right? You could think of a list of sentences that you're giving. And trainer, here you want to mention what is the vocab size, what is the spatial tokens that you want to include, the algorithm, and so on, right? So you need not call all of these in sequence, right? So what, okay, yeah. So we can just set the normalizer and the pre-tokenizer, and then you can call the method for training the vocabulary and build the vocabulary. And then once the training is complete, you have built the vocabulary, you have said this was the algorithm to use, and now you have this text which you want to encode with that vocabulary or that tokenizer, right? So you can call the encode method. There's also an encode batch method, so you should experiment with this when you're looking at the collab notebook and see what is the output. It's obvious, but you can just go and experiment a bit with this, right? Yeah, so you can do a lot of customization. It is possible to customize each component. As I said, if you wanted to implement the Hindi normalizer with some special normalizations that you want to do, you can do all that, right? But we don't expect most of you to have the need to do any of these special customizations. You can just use the standard stuff which is already available, and with a very few lines of code, right? That's the main crux of it. That's the theme that has been since we have been doing, since we have started looking at the Hugging Face packages, that with very few lines of code you can get the job done, right? So I'll end this here, and I'll just move to the collab notebook where you can go over some of these examples and you can understand a bit more about how the tokenizer package works, right? So I'll stop here.